Welcome to Landria Uncut on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an awesome life. I have a very busy weekend. I have to get my place in order and get all set because I have a friend coming in from out of town who is absolutely brilliant, former NASA scientist, and we're going to be working on some very exciting business deals because, you know, I always keep my mind going. I've got to expand. I've got to expand, and I want to share some really exciting information with you because I'm always going out there and trying to get more info and learn new things that I can share with you, and of course, you know, learn myself. So I want to just talk about the actual power within you and what that really means. Now, you know I'm a big fan of Joe Dispenza because he looks at the brain. They're actually scientifically monitoring what happens when we meditate, what we're actually doing, and how that changes our energy field. It actually allows us to connect to the collective consciousness. And, you know, they'll use scientific terms, but really Joe is telling us that this is an actual physical, energetic thing that's happening because we are all energy. Parts of it appear to be, you know, brain and matter, but that's not true either. It just appears that way because it's more condensed than the rest of the molecules. If you saw my really crazy drawing about how things are, you know, you'll see that I have dots, just dots everywhere, and some are closer together than others, and that's all it is. So the higher frequency you get up, the less dense those little dots are because that matter is now expansive. And that's what meditation does. It expands you. Now, I went on to Gaia last night and I was watching even more interesting things that pertain to that. The power within you that you can use. And it's absolutely stifling what's happening here on this planet. And we're walking around with absolute unlimited capability. Seriously. And the scientists and the government and many other agencies and businesses know this because they've conducted tests. They've used it. Our own government has used remote viewing. That's psychic abilities to locate, you know, missile bases and things. Of course, it's always using it for military purposes, but and it's no different than, you know, a psychic might do to find a missing person or get some clues. And you have those capabilities. Now, some people have more natural capabilities in those areas than others, but all of us can develop that, and all of us have those abilities to connect to that higher power. Now, this is when the ego gets in your way, and that's why it's so important to meditate, so important to pay attention to those thoughts. Now, you have a choice. I'm going to do a video right after this one. You have a choice. What are you going to do with those thoughts? Are you going to continue to listen to the self-defeating stories? Or are you going to start focusing and saying, okay, I don't like it. It's happening anyways. Acceptance, you know, I say about don't fight anything. It's happening. But when you start to put your efforts and your focus into developing these other skills, you're going to connect to stuff that's going to blow you away. Just blow you away. So I'll share something that I did, because if you saw I have a 30-day manifesting meditation. All right? 30 days. You can look it up on my channel. And I basically say that you can pick something and see if you can pull it into your reality within 30 days. Mine showed up in 2 weeks, and it was a really big one. So I was not like, you know, I want to see a bluebird land on my windowsill. I wanted to hit a business goal that was really big. And darned if within 2 weeks I just about fell off my chair when I saw that I had hit that goal. I fell off my chair, but at the same time, really knew it was going to happen. But when it does, it's still pretty darn exciting, right? You can do the same thing. Now, when I watched this program on Gaia about the powers that we have, they talk about the pineal gland. And it looks like a little, tiny little pine cone. And it's been, you know, seen in ancient times and drawn in Egyptian times. If you look at hieroglyphs and everything, you'll see the pineal gland. And it's been used everywhere in all kinds of symbolism. Because the ancients had a good handle on what this was. It was the center of power for us, because in the pineal gland is mostly fluid, water, and crystals. through our very bad eating and, fluoride water and all the other things, it actually calcifies that, and which blocks you from really using it the way that you're able to. All right. So first of all, got to start cleaning up your diets. Drink spring water. I heard distilled water will actually help decalcify it. I don't know if that's true, but it can't hurt you, right? And the meditation is so huge because you are going to activate an actual physical thing in this body that allows you to connect to that outer world, that energy of which you are. So here's the interesting part, is that our electromagnetic fields are so powerful that there is actually power in numbers. And that if we combined our power together and if we got together and we really focused on something, we could actually change. Now, these were scientific statements by some very brilliant people who work on this stuff, all right? And if you're interested in Gaia, go in there. It's oh my gosh, thousands of videos on anything you want to look up. I'm really glad. It was only $10 a month as of this video. So you can actually access that power, and of course with numbers we can change things. This is why I tell you, and I know it doesn't seem like you could possibly be making a difference, but you will be when you do this. Every day, send your light and love and healing out to the universe. Send it. I imagine a white light enveloping this earth. I imagine it sparkling with crystals and just joy and love. And I send that out from my power, and it does not deplete you. It doesn't deplete you. You can't get depleted from something unless you're going into that lower vibrational space yourself. Now, you can get depleted from other things and energy, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to go into that. My point is that you will not be depleted by sending your light and love out to the universe. And of course, if you're meditating, you're pulling light in and you're replenishing yourself and calling in your higher masters and your protection systems, then there is no reason for you to not be sending out, because by doing that, you're raising the frequency of the planet, and that affects you directly, very directly. And I mean, we're all one thing. So we want that to happen. And it's so important for you to not just be focused on yourself all the time, but saying, I want this planet to be a beautiful, happy place. We came here to raise our frequency. We came here, most of us are here to make a difference on this planet with the dimensions. Most of us are here on a specific mission. And you're probably one of them, because you're attracted to all this, you know it's true, and you're trying to break away from any of the limitations that you have. So I'm going to keep, it's why I keep doing these videos. I keep saying pretty much the same thing over and over. I just put you in a different focus, the meditation, the pineal gland, the taking action, the, watching your thinking, catching the ego, how do we deal with the past? All of this stuff adds up to the human experience. So somebody just wrote me, well, if I'm not, what I appear to be, and it's not relevant, then why don't we just go right from point A to point Z, Because you're here to have the experience. That's the whole point. You're here to take all of that nothingness that you are and the everything that you are, and to raise the frequency, because you're not on that high frequency if you're here. So we have to go on that journey to go back to that nothingness, that beautiful, free, limitless space that we are, that we do have access to here. It's the human experience that's dragging us down with this density, and we can break through that. You can break through that. You are walking around with this little thing in the center of your head, in the back here, that has unlimited powers, that connects you. It's like an antenna. So you can't dull that baby down with all the garbage you are eating, or, tap water is generally not good, for most of us, because here in the U.S. they put fluoride in it. I don't know if I believe in the conspiracy that that's being done intentionally. But all I know, it's being done, so we don't have to know everything. By the way, we don't have to know everything, because you can think you know, And you won't know anyways. We won't have the answers. All we know is what exists right now and what we need to do to change it. That thing in your head you're walking around with can connect to anything. And if you are sitting there paying attention to the negative thoughts, the stories, the judgments, all the garbage, blah, 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 more thinking going on. And by the way, I love all your comments. But when somebody takes it to this very negative, dark place, I'm thinking they are in such a dense place that they don't even hear themselves talking. You know, this is a horrible place. You need to protect yourself and this. And I'm thinking, well, it's a horrible place because you're thinking that way, so you're attracting that crap. If you're not thinking there, you're not attracting it. You know, who is it? One of the spiritual learners, she's got a, shoot, maybe her name may come to me, but anyway, she's Byron Katie. Byron Katie was in a very, very bad situation, and she's gone through stuff. Even in an enlightened state, she lost her eyesight and then got it back. But she had somebody hold, it was either a gun or a knife to her. And she was in such an awakened state that she didn't react, and she just looked at him and said, you don't want to do that. In a very peaceful, and she was saved. Because this person was going to hurt her. Because she was putting off such a positive energy. And who knows, sometimes it doesn't work that way because it's our path. Sometimes we're exiting, and we're exiting a certain way to demonstrate things or help other people or participate in that interaction. Again, we don't have those answers. It's irrelevant. We're supposed to just be acting on our path as things come along the best possible way we can, and not trying to understand why, or if it was a past life, or I knew this person before. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Your energy and how you're reacting at that moment does. And she was able to save her life because she was in such peace with dying at that moment. She was going to be okay with that, but she knew it was senseless, and she knew it was going to destroy this man's life if he did that too. So she said, you don't want to do this. And he didn't. So what's my point is that you have unbelievable powers and a journey here that you have got to pay attention to at every moment, because you have the power to change it. It's been documented. Scientists are showing it. Quantum physics shows it. We affect everything. When do we start using it? When do we start using it? So somebody called me a new ager. Thank you. I think that's sort of an not used anymore, because new age is this, oh, you believe in this fluffy stuff, when that not working anymore, people. This is science. This is science. In so many experiments, over and over and over, documenting the power that you are emanating, and can also document when your frequency is low, when you're not putting out the beautiful auric colors and all the other things that you have able in you, because that's the choice. The choice is activating that your nothingness. The brain doesn't sit and make those decisions on its own. What's making those decisions? Your mind, your choice, your ability to make independent decisions as the one. That's part of the experience. So you get to activate that whether you want to or not. That is not a physical thing. That is you, your energy that inhabits this body, making decisions and breaking through and becoming very clear. So clean up the diets. Do distilled water, see if that works. I'm not actually going to drink it because I actually do use tap water for my coffee because I boil it, but I think I'm going to switch to distilled. And I drink spring water. I never drink regular water. I eat organic. Keep the chemicals out of your body. Try to be clear. Try to be as clear as you can. Meditate every day and imagine that. Imagine that crystal, center spot in your brain that you can start activating, that will get every answer, that can bring in any reality. You have the ability. So if these people could the planet could get together and activate their focus. Well, the scientists, former NASA scientists said that they could actually reverse the spin of the Earth. They wield that kind of power. If a scientist is saying this, and not just one, that we have the ability through our focus and thoughts to do that as a community, you individually wield a lot of power. A lot of power. Start using it. In other words, they're saying we can change our reality. And we have. We've avoided a lot of catastrophes. Why? Because we're focusing our frequency higher. And those of you that are focused on the drama and the, conspiracy theories, which are all bad, there's no part of a conspiracy theory that's positive, is it? It's somebody doing something bad to keep people down or, whatever. So why go there? I know it's fascinating. It's like watching a train wreck. But you're not doing yourself any favors, and it's an addiction just like anything else, and you got to walk away from it if you want to raise your frequency. It's still your choice, but I'd love it if you joined that group, us, who are working every day to try and raise that frequency. The pineal gland. Look it up. It's fascinating. And if you're on Gaia, look these up. It's pretty mind-blowing what they're coming up with and finding out through science. And you've got it. There's nobody more special than you. You have that limitless power. You can use it. You just have to make a decision and know it's there, and you have to be persistent. Persistence is key. Yes, some of you can just make a decision and bing! But it usually takes time, because there's a lot of energetic residue, negative residue that has to be broken through. There are triggers that always happen that you have to be aware of. It will take work, and it's so worth it. I've been meditating anywhere from 2 to 4 hours a day. I know that sounds crazy, but one meditation session last night was an hour and a half, so it was easy. I did it at 5 o'clock in the morning. I know, that's crazy, right? No, not really. It felt wonderful. I woke up for some reason, and I did a meditation for an hour and a half that was beautiful. And then I went back to a beautiful, beautiful sleep. So if you have any issues with, sleep, your body's just waking up when it naturally wants to wake up. Don't fight that. Don't go up by the rules. Plug in your earphones and do a guided meditation. As I shared with you, Joe Tracy, Treacy, does almost hypnosis kind of meditations. Those are really fun too. It's really pretty music in the background. You can pick your length. Some are 20, some are an hour and a half, some are 2 hours. And just listen, because what it does, it'll get you to relax, and you keep doing it and doing it and doing it until you clear your mind. And at some point, you will actually have a mystical, beautiful experience. You'll realize your energy is now going back out and connecting to everything that's beautiful and pure. And that's who you are. Sending you light, sending you love. Did you say your mantra? I am whole, I am perfect, I am strong, I am powerful, I am loving, I am harmonious, I am happy. Thank you for all the miracles you're sending to me today. I receive them, and I am grateful. Namaste.